Most people think this story is about America. It isn't. It's about China. More specifically, it's about one of the biggest psychological shifts happening anywhere in the world today. For most of the last 40 years, China measured itself against America. America was the benchmark, the reference point, the standard by which success was judged. If a Chinese city wanted to modernize, it looked toward America. If a Chinese family wanted a better future, it looked toward America. If a Chinese student dreamed of success, America was often the destination. But something unusual has happened. Not in politics, not in economics, not even in technology. Something deeper. China has started to change the way it sees itself. And when a civilization of 1.4 billion people changes the way it sees itself, the consequences extend far beyond its borders. I'm an executive recruiter who has spent nearly 2 decades working across China's industrial economy. I spend much of my time speaking with entrepreneurs, engineers, factory managers, scientists, and manufacturing executives. Over the past decade, I have noticed something fascinating. 10 years ago, many of these people talked about America as a place they hoped to reach. Today, they talk about America very differently. Not with hostility, not with admiration, but with comparison. That distinction matters because admiration assumes hierarchy, comparison assumes equality, and equality changes everything. A few months ago, I was having dinner with a Chinese entrepreneur. 20 years ago, his dream was simple. Move to America, build a life there, give his children opportunities he never had. Today, his company exports to more than 30 countries. His factories are in China. His customers are global. His son studies at a Chinese university. And during dinner, he said something I haven't forgotten. America is still impressive, but I no longer feel like it is a country I need to become. That single sentence may explain more about modern China than thousands of political speeches. The biggest change happening in China today may not be economic. It may not be technological. It may be psychological. Understanding that shift may be one of the keys to understanding the 21st century. To understand how China sees America today, we first need to understand how China saw America 30 years ago. For younger viewers, this may not be difficult to imagine. China in 1990s was a fundamentally different country. In 1990, China's GDP per capita was less than $350. The average American earned more than 30 times as much. Most Chinese families had never traveled abroad. Many had never met a foreigner. The gap between China and America felt enormous, almost civilizationized. At that time, America represented something much bigger than wealth. It represented the future. The world's largest economy, the strongest military, the most influential cultural, the most prestigious universities, the most innovative technology companies. For many Chinese families, success had a simple formula. Study hard, get into a top university, go to America. Harvard, Stanford, MIT, Berkeley, Columbia. Admission carried extraordinary prestige. Many Chinese students didn't simply want to study in America. They wanted to become America. Hollywood movies shaped imaginations. American brands symbolized quality. Silicon Valley symbolized innovation. Wall Street symbolized success. For much of the reform era, America occupied a near mythical position in China's collective imagination. And for a country emerging from poverty, that admiration was entirely understandable. One of the biggest mistakes outsiders make is assuming that Chinese people share a single view of America. They don't. Different generations often see America through entire different lenses. For many Chinese born in the 1960s, America represented opportunity. For those born in the 1970s, America represented success. For much of the 1980s generation, America represented aspiration. But younger Chinese grew up in a completely different environment. Consider someone born in 2005. They entered a China that already had modern airports, modern highways, high-speed rail, smartphones, mobile payments, e-commerce, world-class manufacturing, and increasingly global competitive technology companies. Think about what that means psychologically. A Chinese university graduate today has never experienced a world in which China looked weak. A young engineer has never experienced a world in which Chinese technology seemed irrelevant. A young entrepreneur has never experienced a world in which China was absent from global conversations. The numbers tells the story. When someone born in 2000 entered the world, America's economy was roughly 8 times larger than China's. Today, the gap is closer to 1.5 times. For younger generations, China's rise is not history. It is simply normal. Psychology is often shaped less by absolute reality than by the reality people grew up with. For older generations, America was the future. For many younger Chinese, America is simply another major power. That may be one of the most important generational shifts happening anywhere in the world today. The turning point did not happen because America suddenly became weaker. It happened because China became dramatically stronger. In 2000, China's economy was roughly 1/8 the size of America's. Today, it is about 2/3 as large in nominal terms and larger in purchasing power parity. China now produces more manufacturing output than the United States, Japan, Germany, South Korea, and India combined. It accounts for roughly 1/3 of the global manufacturing. China has built more high-speed rail than the rest of the world combined. It produces more electric vehicles than any nation in history. It installs more industrial robots annually than the next several countries combined. But national confidence is rarely created by statistics. It's shaped by lived experience. 20 years ago, many Chinese tourists visited the United States and felt they were seeing the future. Today, many return with more complicated impressions. They still admire America's universities, its research institutions, its technology ecosystem. But they also notice things previous generations rarely discussed: aging infrastructure, visible homelessness, political polarization, urban crime, public debt, social division. Not that China has solved all these own problems, far from it, but for the first time, the comparison no longer looks entirely one-sided. For the first time, large numbers of Chinese people started comparing. And comparison is fundamentally different from admiration. Admiration assumes hierarchy. Comparison assumes equality. That psychological shift may be one of the most consequential developments in modern China. If China's rise changed perceptions gradually, the trade war accelerated them dramatically. For decades, many Chinese believed economic integration would benefit everyone. China would grow richer. America would gain access to a massive market. Both countries would prosper. Then come tariffs, technology restrictions, semiconductor controls, export bans, investment reviews. A new phrase entered everyday Chinese vocabulary, choking the neck. The feeling that the United States was trying to block China's technological ascent. The cases of Huawei, SMIC, and countless other Chinese companies were widely interpreted as evidence that America was no longer playing by the rules of open competition. Whether these policies were justified or not is not the point. What matters is how they were interpreted inside China. Many Chinese concluded that the relationship had fundamentally changed. America was no longer viewed primarily as a partner. It was increasingly viewed as a competitor. And competition changes psychology. People stop asking what can we learn from them and begin asking how do we compare against them, or even can we outperform them. The national conversation shifted, and once that shift occurs, it becomes very difficult to reverse. One of the most revealing changes isn't found in public opinion polls. It's found in career decisions. Let me give you a concrete example. Last year, I worked with a top AI researcher who had just completed his PhD at a leading Chinese university. 5 years ago, his first call would have been to an American tech giant, Google, Meta, or OpenAI. Instead, he had 3 offers, one from a well-known American company, one from a Chinese EV maker building autonomous driving systems, and one from a state-backed AI lab. He chose the Chinese EV maker, not for ideological reasons. He told me the pay is comparable, the technology exposure is world-class, and I don't have to worry about visa uncertainty or the political climate. That calculation would have been almost unthinkable a decade ago. This is not an isolated case. Among the most ambitious engineers, AI researchers, battery scientists, manufacturing specialists, and semiconductor professionals, I see the same pattern. They compare opportunities, salary, stock options, technology exposure, career progression, global influence. American companies remain attractive, but they are no longer automatically superior. That may sound like a subtle distinction, but from a talent market perspective, it is profound. Talent allocation often reveals where confidence is moving before statistics do, and confidence is moving. For the first time in modern Chinese history, large numbers of highly educated professionals genuinely believe they can build world-class careers without leaving China. That belief barely existed 20 years ago. Today, it is becoming normal. One of the biggest misconceptions in Western discussions is that Chinese people have stopped respecting America. That is simply not true. Talk to entrepreneurs in Shenzhen, researchers in Beijing, executives in Shanghai, and you will hear remarkable consistency. America remains the world's most powerful innovation ecosystem. Its universities remain extraordinary. Its venture capital system remains unmatched. This ability to attract ambitious people from all around the world remains one of its greatest strengths. Companies like Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and OpenAI continue to shape the future of technology. Chinese people recognize this. The difference is not reduced respect. The difference is reduced idealization. America is no longer viewed as perfect. It is reviewed as human, brilliant in some areas, flawed in others, like every great power in history. And here is an important mirror. Many Chinese who criticize America's political polarization will privately admit that China faces similar challenges, though in different forms. The difference is that they are no longer looking at America as flawless ideal, but as another large, complex, imperfect society. That is not anti-Americanism. That is psychological adulthood. So how do Chinese people really see America today? The answer is complicated. They admire America. They compete with America. They learn from America. They criticize America, often all at the same time. But perhaps the most important transformation has nothing to do with America at all. For decades, the defining question was whether China could catch up. Today, that question increasingly feels outdated. A different question is emerging. What happens when a rising power no longer sees itself as rising? What happens when admiration becomes comparison? When comparison becomes competition? And when the competition becomes the normal relationship between the world's two largest economies? History suggests that the most consequential changes are rarely military, rarely political, rarely even economic. They are psychological. They happen when millions of people stop seeing themselves one way and begin seeing themselves another. And that may be the most important story unfolding inside China today. Not that China has changed this view of America, but that China has changed this view of itself. And once a civilization changes the way it sees itself, everything else tends to follow. The story is no longer about whether China can catch up. The story is about what happens after it does.